In case you haven't heard, there's an election coming up this November, and it's the most important election in the modern history of our country.
Bernie! Bernie, no! Bernie, no! No! Why, Bernie? Why? Why? I do not want to hear that sentence from you. I've heard that sentence spoken by partisan nitwits every single election cycle of my life. It's such a cliche that this next election is the most important election ever. And to hear you not just say it, but open with it just kills me, Bernie. It kills me dead. Bernie, no. Et tu, Bernie. Oh, no. No. Why, Bernie? Why?
Now, I fully understand that while President Biden has some very significant accomplishments,
like what, Bern? What are those? What exactly were those? The CHIPS Act, corporate handout to the chips industry? Build Back Better, which never went nowhere, spun its wheels in the mud. Bidenomics. What? Bernie, no. Bernie.
which he has every right to be proud of. There are a number of areas where the administration's response to important issues has been inadequate or, in the case of Gaza, dead wrong. In my view.
Yeah, you know. Was it wrong of Joe Biden to stand idly by as United States weapons were used to massacre 40,000 plus people, mostly children? I suppose one could say that, you know, it might have been a little bit iffy. You know, that's the word I'll use. I'll say it's kind of iffy. Hey, if you like this clip, you might like the full stream, which I do every Sunday, more or less, over on the Pessimist Productions Patreon, link down below. Thank you kindly.
In the view of most progressives, the United States should not be giving another nickel to Netanyahu and his right-wing extremist government to continue their horrific war against the people of Gaza. We also need to do a lot more work in addressing the massive level of income and wealth inequality, low wages, the housing crisis, our dysfunctional healthcare system, totally inadequate.
It doesn't sound like Joe Biden has any, like, when you put it that way, does it really sound like Joe Biden's done much? Listen, we need to do more to address pretty much every fucking social ill ever. But other than that, Joe Biden's been doing a bang-up job. Yeah, okay. I mean, if you just ignore wealth and income inequality, our dysfunctional healthcare system, the genocide in Gaza, you know, that kind of stuff, you just kind of look the other way for that, Joe Biden's been pretty much fucking amazing. I mean, I'd say best president ever, personally, yeah.
Childcare, student debt, and the absolute need for affordable higher education, among many other issues. But while we may have our disagreements with Biden,
those aren't disagreements, Bernie. That's like every issue. You just, when it came time for you to sit down and like list the issues where Joe Biden has been, in your words, inadequate, you then listed pretty much every issue ever. So it's not like, while we may have our disagreements with Joe Biden, Trump worse. Listen to me when I say Trump worse, you guys. Come on. I mean, you know, yeah, 40,000 dead in Gaza right now, but if Trump was there, it'd be 50,000.
It's important to take a minute to think about what a Trump presidency would mean to our country and, in fact, the world.
I mean, this isn't really all that much of a hypothetical, right? We've already had one. Trump was president for 4 years, and America sucked. Then Biden's been president for 4 years, and America pretty much continued to suck. So,
if you believe in democracy, and I know you all do, if you believe in science, if you believe in justice and workers' rights, let me be very clear.
mm-hmm.
The next several months will be the most important in modern American history.
Does he seem like his heart is even in this shit? Remember when Bernie was on the campaign trail, fucking campaigning for himself? He was full of fire. He was full of piss and vinegar. Even for an old man, he was out there, and we're gonna change this bullshit, and I'm tired of this. And I was just like, listen, guys, you know, Trump's real fucking bad, okay? And you gotta vote for Biden. I know it fucking sucks, but that's just what you gotta do, you know? Bernie is fucking like devoid of passion, devoid of energy, just like devoid of any real joie de vivre.
Yes, Donald Trump is a pathological liar. He's a racist, a sexist, a xenophobe, a homophobe, and a religious bigot. Yup. Donald Trump.
Yup. Is there someone with a gun pointing at Bernie, like just off camera, like, read the fucking script, old man. Read the fucking script till you never see your fucking grandkids again. Yup. Trump's a real bad dude, everybody. He's a racist. He's a bigot. He's a xenophobe. He's a xenomorph. He's got one of those little mouths inside of his big mouth. It's creepy. I've seen it.
Has denied the election defeat that he experienced and is undermining American democracy every day, peddling conspiracy theories and converting the Republican Party into a cult of the individual. Yup.
Yup. Yup. Yup. Yup. Yup. Yup. Yup. Yup. Yup. Yup. That's right. If Donald Trump gets elected, there will be camps where everybody who doesn't like Trump will be rounded up and executed on day one. And all of the trans people will be killed, and all of the gay people will be killed, and all the people of color will be killed. And everyone who's not a white Christian will be killed. And that will happen if Trump gets it. So therefore, yup, I am telling you to not do that. And this is very important, as you could tell by the insane amount of passion that is radiating forth from me right now.
Donald Trump has contempt for a free media and has encouraged violence and the never-before-seen use of the military and federal agents against U.S. citizens. But if you believe Donald Trump's first term was dangerous, I want you to think for a moment about what a second term would look like.
Day one, he gets in office, he nukes the whole fucking world. Donald Trump is so mad that he lost the 2020 election that he decides he's going to take it out on the whole world and he nukes the earth. And whose fault is that going to be if you don't vote for Joe Biden? That's going to be your fucking fault, my friends. Yup.
If Donald Trump is elected this November, the fight against climate change is over.
It never started, Bernie. Come on. Give me a break.
Period. It's the end, and the people of this planet will have lost.
We already did. It's already over.
Not only does Donald Trump believe climate change is a hoax, but he has and will once again appoint agency leaders and judges who will undermine our ability to move toward energy efficiency and sustainable energy.
So will any other Republican. That's not a unique feature of Donald Trump.
And if the United States retreats from the fight against climate change, countries like China, India, and the rest of the world will follow. That would have irreversible implications for the future habitability of our planet, for our kids, our grandchildren.
Bernie, I'm sorry, but if you actually listen to like any of the scientists on this issue, we're already fucked. Like, the Biden administration might do a little bit more on climate change than Trump, but this is one of those issues where it literally does not matter at all. It's like if there was a room being filled with poison gas, and one guy is just like, I don't believe in the gas. It's all a hoax. It's all a lie. And the other person's like, we must reduce the poison gas by 3%. Everyone's still dead. There is no functional difference between those two positions. On the issue of climate change, half measures or like 1/50th measures like Joe Biden proposes are literally the same as doing nothing. It's not one of these things where like, well, Biden's a little better. Like maybe on some social issues and stuff, you can make that argument. But on the issue of climate change, you literally can't, because under Trump's leadership or Biden's leadership, the planet is fucked. Even if we had someone in there that really took this shit absolutely deadly fucking seriously, it's probably too late.
If Trump is elected in November, the already obscene levels that we are now experiencing of income and wealth inequality will only get worse.
Bernie, fuck you. You're a lying piece of shit. These levels of wealth and income inequality have gotten worse and worse under Republican and Democrat administrations alike. It's not like we see wealth inequality skyrocketing every time a Republican gets in office, but then it starts to slow down when a Democrat gets in there. It's been steady as a fucking... Look, I'll pull it up. Inequality has increased more rapidly in the U.S. than in Europe. Share of national income earned by the top 10% of earners from 1980 to 2016. And you'll notice this goes up and up and up and up and up. In fact, I actually see it went down under GW. But it's just gone up and up and up. There were Democrats and Republicans in this time period, and nothing has slowed it down. It's been a pretty steady line upwards. And that only goes to 2016. It hasn't slowed down since. So this idea that like, oh man, if we elect Trump, income inequality is going to get worse. It's like, that's true, but it ain't getting better now. And it hasn't gotten better under any administration for a long fucking time.
In his first administration, Trump signed tax cuts into law where 83% of the benefits went to the top 1%, while at the same time he raised taxes for middle-class families. During this current campaign, Trump has promised to... This
is another thing, by the way. Like, if you're trying to sell me on the idea that Trump is some kind of, like, outrageously different sort of Republican, he's not. Because literally every Republican administration in my lifetime, I think other than George H.W. Bush, has massively cut taxes. Reagan massively cut taxes. George W. Bush massively cut taxes. Trump massively cut taxes, all on the wealthy, of course.
Extend those tax cuts for the rich and to lower the corporate tax rate for companies that are making record-breaking profits.
And then, of course, when Biden got elected, he raised those rates right back up. Oh, no, he just says he wants to. He wants to do it. Hasn't done it. Really wants to, though.
If Donald Trump is elected again in November, we can expect him and the Republican Party to escalate the attacks on women's reproductive health in this country.
Once again, standard Republican Party fare. Like, all Bernie is really accomplishing with this is letting me know that Trump is just a fucking Republican. He's not this fucking insane, nightmarishly outside of the box divergence that he's constantly being presented to me as, because everything that Bernie has listed so far that Trump is going to do, he's going to be bad on the environment. Oh, like every Republican. He's going to lower taxes on rich people. Oh, like every Republican. He's going to be anti-woman. Oh, like every Republican. Like, okay, yeah, all that stuff is bad, but it's also like standard fucking Republican Party playbook shit. The main difference between Trump, there's two main differences between Trump and every fucking Republican in my lifetime that came before him. The first difference is that Trump is way more of a brazen talker. He's way more willing to say stupid shit, whereas every other president has been more diplomatic, let's say. And the other difference, and the only real substantive difference between Trump and every Republican came before him, is that his authoritarian ambitions are much more naked. Because I think if you really look at it, Ronald Reagan wanted a Christian theocracy, but he was smart enough not to constantly say it. George W. Bush wanted to be king, but he was smart enough to not say it often. He actually did say it a few times. Trump is pretty much just, yes, I should be the dictator of America, but just the first day. After the first day, I'll be good. I swear. Give it to me. Give me the power. I'll give it right back. I promise. Which I admit is a worrying thing, but really, once again, not all that much of a divergence.
Nope. It was not enough for Trump to brag about appointing justices who overturned Roe v. Wade in this country.
3 times. 3 times since Roe v. Wade, supermajority and the presidency. 3 times. They never made a law to cement it. They never passed a law that said abortion rights are the law of the land. They never did it. Because they wanted to use Roe v. Wade as a wedge issue to win elections, and so did the Republicans. Both parties wanted to use it as a big old wedge issue to drum up votes. And neither one of them did shit. When the Republicans were in office, they would always talk a big game about how they were going to ban abortion, they're going to ban abortion, they're going to ban abortion, and they never fucking did it. They never did it. And the Democrats would always talk a big game about how, oh, we're gonna safeguard abortion, we're gonna safeguard abortion, we're gonna safeguard abortion. They never did it. They were all just perfectly willing to go along with this status quo to win elections and use as a wedge issue to divide people. And neither one of them lifted a finger on it. And it wasn't until this Supreme Court repealed it. And now you guys are just doing the same thing, but in reverse. Instead of being like Roe v. Wade's the law of the land and we need to protect it for the Democrats, and Roe v. Wade's the law of the land and we need to stop it for the Republicans, now it's reversed. Now it's the Democrats saying we need to stop this war on women, whatever. And it's the Republicans who are like, we need to safeguard the decision that abortion's bad, that, you know, it's up to the states or whatever. So you guys are still just drumming up votes on it. And neither party has any actual political will to fucking change a goddamn thing on that issue, because they know they can run on it forever. They can get people all riled up, all bent out of shape, and win an election. And that's all these politicians care about, is winning elections. So not so they can serve the people, of course, but so they can serve themselves, so they can go to the money trough and go, money. What do you want me to vote for? Yeah, I'll do it. I don't give a fuck. Money.
He and many other Republicans want to go further. They want a federal abortion ban. And that's what they will.
If they fucking do a federal abortion ban, I will eat my hat. You see this MAGA hat that I had on earlier? I'm not getting it. It's over there. I'm too lazy. I'll eat that fucking thing. I'll boil it up and I'll fucking eat it.
Strive for if he is elected this November. If Donald Trump is elected,
there is no fucking political will to do that. There is no political will to do that. You know why? Because first of all, the country is way too divided on it. And second of all, then they can't use it as a wedge issue anymore. I mean, I guess they still kind of could, because the Democrats could be like, we're going to repeal that law if we get in. But I don't know. Like, I think that they're much better served by keeping it as this like up in the air thing forever, which they've proven by the fact that even when one party is in charge, they don't ever seem to actually do any movement on this, even when they're totally capable, even when they have the votes.
Elected again, it is likely, and I say this with a heavy heart, but it is likely that the almost 250-year experiment of American democracy is all but over. It goes without saying that Trump tried to overturn the results of the last presidential election.
If you guys really believe that democracy is fucking over if Trump gets in, then why is your delivery of this message so fucking completely goddamn listless? Why are the Democrats choosing to run Joe Biden instead of finding someone stronger? Why does it seem like no one inside of the political establishment is genuinely panicked about this shit? Like, if this is truly, like, if we're living in the end times of democracy right now, and Donald Trump represents the end of democracy if he gets in office, then how come I don't see any of these establishment Democrats sweating it? How come they're just acting like it's just, you know, an election cycle as usual? There doesn't seem to be any real will to change shit. There doesn't seem to be really any real will to fucking, like, go out there and drum up the votes needed. Like, why is the Democratic counteroffensive to what Trump is putting forth so tepid and listless and lame? If you guys really believe this dude represents an existential threat to fucking democracy. Because if this is how the Democrats react to a legitimate existential threat to democracy, then democracy fucking deserves to die. If this is as much as anyone's willing to fight for it, is just like, Trump bad, you know, he's a dick, you know, he's a bad dude, he's gonna fucking end the world, I don't know, you know. Like, if that's all we have in the face of this, then maybe we should just fucking succumb. But here's what I think. I don't think he is an existential threat to democracy. I think he's a fucking standard issue Republican who's gonna get in there and do some regressive shit for 4 years, and you guys are gonna fundraise off him, and you guys are gonna campaign off of him. And then hopefully in 4 years, you guys will come up with a candidate that's not a total fucking ancient mummy, decrepit, demented fucking fool.
But his attack on democracy goes far deeper than the violence of January 6th, 2021.
That's right, Bernie. Keep reading.
If Trump wins, you can expect more extreme gerrymandering, more election workers being harassed and threatened, more young people and people of color being denied their right.
Man, it's sad to see Bernie in this fucking state, dude. It's sad to see a listless, lifeless Bernie reading some DNC-approved fucking script that he clearly doesn't believe in. Because if he really believed this shit, where's the passion? Where's the gravitas of, hey, guys, our democracy is fucking under threat. I'm serious right now. Like, this whole shit's about to end if we don't do the right thing in this election. Where's the urgency? Where's the, like, oh my God, we gotta fucking do something? Where's the panic? Hey guys, democracy's gonna, like, end and stuff. It's the most important election ever because democracy's on the line, you know. And, you know, I don't know. Like, come on, man. You know it's not even fucking true. Bernie is old as though, probably doesn't have the energy anymore. Dude, he was old as when he ran. I guarantee you, Bernie still has that fire in him if he's saying something he really believes in. He ain't saying shit he really believes in right now. He's fucking out there delivering the fucking... He's carrying water for the DNC, and it's so fucking obvious. And he hasn't put a fucking ounce of authentic passion in it. He's got this dire message that sounds hugely important if you just read it, but he's delivering it as if it's just like nothing. Like it's just words on a screen to him. Like, yeah, Trump's bad. It sucks. He's going to kill us all. You know.